Let's get right to that breaking news.
Yeah, big story breaking overseas. U.S. Special Forces conducted a large-scale counterterrorism raid in Syria overnight. It resulted in the death of the leader of the Islamic State terrorist group. In a statement, the president called it a successful mission that, quote, protects Americans and makes the world safer. The president is about to speak moments from now from the White House about that operation. We will bring it to you live. But let's begin our coverage this morning with NBC's Peter Alexander. Peter, good morning to you.
Savannah, good morning to you. Let's detail what we now know about this operation, where the ISIS leader Abu Ibrahim al-Hashimi al-Qurayshi was killed. U.S. officials saying that the ISIS leader killed himself, exploding that bomb on the third floor of this safe house. It came as a special operations raid was beginning, a military operation that we believe was at least weeks in the making. We are told by sources on the ground that a U.S. military translator used a loudspeaker for approaching an hour trying to get civilians out of that safe house. We do believe, according to those on the ground, that there were at least 13 individuals who were killed here. But this, the White House says, the president says, was a success, that it rid the world of this top ISIS leader, the successor to Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, who killed himself in a not too dissimilar raid that took place 3 years ago. It comes as there have been concerns about the resurgence of ISIS right now that has recently overrun a prison in northeast Syria. Again, this assault taking place in northern Syria overnight. The president watching it all take place in real time from the Situation Room. And again, we will hear from him, Savannah, in just a matter of moments here at the White House. Back to you.
Peter, stand by there. I know you will. Let's turn to NBC News National security analyst Jeremy Bash, who joins us now. He was chief of staff at the Pentagon and also the CIA. And Jeremy, good morning. I mean, the current leader of ISIS killed in this special operations raid that happened overnight. Tell us the significance in your mind.
Well, he's the leader of ISIS, so he threatens U.S. forces in the region and is planning external operations against the United States homeland. But this was a very risky raid, Savannah, because for the past 2 years, we've been conducting fixed-wing raids on that target, meaning firing missiles from airplanes, from drones against ISIS targets. But this is the first time in almost 2 years that we put boots on the ground, and a lot of them, to go after a big ISIS target. This is a huge risk by the Biden administration. It appears to have paid off.
What about the location, the significance of where this raid took place?
Well, it's an ungoverned space. There isn't a local government there to go arrest somebody or to provide a security cordon. So when U.S. forces go into the region, they're operating unilaterally in a very dangerous corner of the world. And again, it required pristine intelligence. It required a whole team of special operators to go down in there using helicopters and to go after this target. This target appears to have blown himself up, a very dangerous situation. And we can just thank goodness that all U.S. forces have come home safe and sound.
Reportedly, 24 special forces were on the ground. A senior official is telling reporters that the target of this operation actually detonated a bomb that blew himself up as well as his family. Other watchdog groups and human rights groups in Syria say civilians were killed. You know, these are early moments. But what do you make of those reports?
Well, again, when we can be very precise with our air power, we can go after a single person, say, traveling in a motorcade. You know, sometimes we can just take out the terrorists, but unfortunately, that person usually surrounds himself with human shields, with women, children, innocents. And so sometimes our counterterrorism forces have to be very careful. It requires a lot of careful planning, and sometimes there are civilian casualties. Even in the bin Laden operation from a decade ago, you had a wife of one of the couriers there who was killed. You have people who are non-combatants. But again, if they're going to surround themselves by living with the terrorists, then sometimes this happens. But again, this is a major victory for the United States. I think also, Savannah, it's also a big payoff for the Biden administration. They're surging troops into Europe. They're showing that the military power of the United States is still available to protect our national security.
You know, a lot of people may have thought that the threat from ISIS had dissipated. There is concern that it's resurgent again in Syria. What's the lay of the land?
Well, just last week, there was a major situation at a prison in which ISIS tried to free a number of prisoners. The Syrian Democratic Forces, who are sort of the local forces there in that region, they quelled that prison break. And so ISIS is still a very dangerous, capable organization. They're regenerating. They're trying to target U.S. forces. They are the leading Sunni terrorist organization in the world right now. And I think this over-the-horizon capability by the United States is designed to send a very clear message that we're going to go after them them wherever they are. We're not just going to forget about the threat from ISIS or other terrorist organizations.
And before I let you go, there was a U.S. military helicopter that's experienced what the Pentagon is calling a maintenance issue and was detonated. That is something you're well familiar with, as it happened on the bin Laden raid that you were deeply involved with. What is the significance of that?
Well, it shows that the United States is not going to leave any military hardware behind for the terrorists to get their hands on. So sometimes an aircraft will fire a missile at our own debilitated helicopter. That's part and parcel of the planning, and that's what our special operations forces are so good at, Savannah.
All right, Jeremy Bash, stand by. We are awaiting the remarks from the president. We will bring them to you live when they come. Thank you very much.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Find your favorite recipes, celebrity interviews, uplifting stories, shop our favorite deals, and so much more with the Today app. Download it now.